But we're going to start with my favorite football team, the hapless, pathetic, awful, atrocious, lousy, no good, terrible New York Football Giants, who last night, this happened last night. I had the day off yesterday. It happened like 6:55. Like all this Giants news, everyone noticed, happens at the end of the day. Wonder why. 6:58 p.m. Eastern. Here's the news breaking. Let everyone sleep on it for a night. That Russell Wilson signs a one-year deal worth up to $12 million with the Giants. And not just signing with the New York Football Giants, but Tom Pelissero of NFL Media in his tweet writes, Russ is going to be the starter. Giants told Russell Wilson, hey, buddy, you're starting week 1. If I'm Jameis Winston, I'm like, what? I signed 3 days ago. We're already signing another veteran quarterback, and there's talk that the team's going to take a quarterback with a 3rd overall pick in the draft. If you're out there watching and listening and thinking, wow, none of this makes sense, you're right. Here's my read on what's going to happen with the New York Football Giants this season. Then we're going to get into what I expect it to be on the field. I don't think, and I can be wrong about this, and things can change. I can be wrong. I think I'm going to be right. I do not think the New York Football Giants will be taking a quarterback with the 3rd overall pick coming up in the draft. And I've been saying for over a year now, in last year's draft, that this team needed a new franchise quarterback, needed a rookie, needed to reset this damn thing. Didn't do it last year, and I love Malik Neighbors. Needed a quarterback. Instead, here's Malik Neighbors. And I don't think they're going to do it this year, and I think they have telegraphed that here. Not 100%, but I'm pretty confident in that they will not draft a quarterback 3rd overall. Signing Jameis Winston on for, I guess they could cut Jameis after the draft. It would seem pretty ridiculous to me. Doesn't that sound asinine to people? Why wouldn't Jameis just wait to sign somewhere else if he felt like he might get cut? I tell you what, man, cold world if that's going to be what this is. And Jameis's ass just gets cut after the draft if they take Shedeur Sanders or whomever 3rd overall. So here's my guess as to how this is going to turn out. I think it's going to be Russell Wilson as the 1. Jameis Winston is going to be the 2. And either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter get picked with the 3rd overall pick. And I think they will also take a quarterback in day 2 of the upcoming NFL draft. And that quarterback can be break glass in case of emergency. Joe Shane and Brian Dable need to save their jobs. Plays well enough, he can be the starter heading into next year, and they can try and reset the frickin' clock. That's my best guess. Day 2 quarterback, Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter at 3, whoever's there. And it's Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston as the quarterbacks heading into next season. Now, let's say I'm right. Travis Hunter could be the NFL's Shohei Ohtani. Talk to people in the league. Travis Hunter as a wide receiver could be one of the best receivers in the league. As a corner, could be one of the best corners in the league. Abdul Carter could be the next Myles Garrett. And none of it's going to matter. It won't matter at all. Because if it's Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, the 2025 New York Giants are going to be absolutely freaking terrible. 0% chance of finishing with a winning record. 0% chance of making the playoffs. 0. Why? Because Russell Wilson's horrible. And Jameis Winston stinks too. I talked about Jameis on Monday. Wow, he's so funny. He's like, he's a walking meme. We love Jameis Winston. Also, all he does is turn the football over. He's awful. Why do you think he never gets to start anywhere and he's always a backup? Because he stinks. And then there's Russell Wilson. I'm going to say something. This is going to sound ridiculous. I think I'm right on it. I would take a fully healthy, not coming off a torn ACL, Daniel Jones over Russell Wilson. Trivia question for everybody. Out of these 3 quarterbacks, Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, which is the out of the 3, who's won a playoff game most recently of the 3? Answer, Daniel Jones. Did you know, you the person watching or listening, that Russell Wilson in his last 4 years as a starting quarterback is 23-32? He can't move. He's inaccurate. He's really weird, which is like whatever. You could be weird and awesome. He's weird and he's bad, though. He's like a phony. I'd rather have Sierra at quarterback, 1-2 stepping her way to a win total under. At least more fun looking at her. Let P.D. Pablo run the offense. Let Missy Elliott run the defense. God almighty, not my goodies. With Russell Wilson, Sierra, and the Giants. This is pathetic, man. This is awful. Russ is terrible. Unlimited. I would actually like to change his name from Mr. Unlimited to Mr. Limited, because he is physically limited at this point in his career. And that's not to take anything away from his career. Like, I don't know if he's going to make the Hall of Fame now. He was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He's won a Super Bowl. He's had a great career. Like, he's been a really good quarterback over the balance of his career. But in the year of our Lord 2025, he's a curtain-jerking jabroni. I take Daniel Jones over him. You know who agrees? The NFL. The Colts signed Daniel Jones, $14 million. Russ gets up to 12. Think about that. Like, the Giants ran Daniel Jones out of town and brought in someone who's making less money because the league doesn't think he's as good. Think about that. Think about that. Who's the last quarterback of those three to win a playoff game? Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, or Jameis Winston? The answer is Daniel Jones. Are we serious here? Like, is this seriously what it's going to be? And honestly, Tommy DeVito needs to be on this roster next year. Tommy DeVito is like turned into a meme character, and I've made fun of him for, look at the Italian hand gesture and the chicken cutlets. Tommy DeVito is actually a really good third-string quarterback. Like, Tommy DeVito should be on this roster. He actually should be on an NFL roster. He should be the Giants' third-string quarterback for the next decade. He's an awesome break glass in case of emergency quarterback. If you told me it was going to be Jameis, Shedeur Sanders, and Tommy DeVito, I'm into that. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Tommy DeVito, I can't say I'm into that. Can't say I'm into that at all. Whether it's Russ or Jameis, there is no way that this team can compete next season. There's no way. I said a couple weeks ago on the show, with the Dallas Cowboys and their selective aggression, right, and all the failed first-round picks that the Dallas Cowboys have brought in. I said that if the Giants get the right quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, or a rookie, that's Shedeur Sanders, whatever, the Giants could have more wins than the Dallas Cowboys. What I meant by good quarterback was not Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston. It's neither of those two guys. The Giants didn't want to wait on Aaron Rodgers. Here's a translation for everybody. Aaron Rodgers had no interest playing for the Giants. Zero interest playing for the New York. Why do you think they signed Russell Wilson? Everyone knows Russell Wilson stinks. He's terrible. And he's annoying. And what's he good at? Like, what's he good at now? I'm being serious. Like, what does he do besides for, like, loft these deep balls to George Pickens last year? What does he do? What does he do well? I don't care that he had a winning record and the Steelers went to the playoffs. We all watched the games. He stinks. It's over. It's been over. It's been over for Russell Wilson. And Jameis will play. He'll throw a bunch of picks. Say, how much fun is this? Yeah, it's great. Love losing. Love when my quarterback throws a ton of pick sixes. And if the Giants like to draft Shedeur and Jameis is the 3, what's he gonna do? Jameis is gonna hold the clipboard, go to La Bernadette and eat crab legs? None of it makes any sense. This is the desperate flailings, the death rattle of an over-his-head general manager and Joe Shane and a head coach that's completely and utterly lost the plot. And the only thing that we're missing as fans, honestly, is watching this on Hard Knocks. Because I'll tell you, forget about Seinfeld, The Office, Friends, 2.5 Men, whatever your comedy show of choice is. There would be no greater situational comedy in the history of life than 2025 New York Football Giants Hard Knocks. I said last year that honestly, after Seinfeld on Comedy Central, they should run reruns of Hard Knocks last year. People thought at the time it was a drama. No, that son of a bitch was a comedy. And if you thought that was funny, you're going to lose your bleep watching this one. Here's Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Maybe the Giants will still draft a quarterback at 3rd overall. cut Jameis Winston because there's no way Jameis Winston is going to be the 3. There's no way. It's not possible. I can't imagine that's what he wants. Maybe the Giants still draft Shedeur Sanders 3rd overall. And they want this to be like the 2005 or 2004 New York Giants with Eli Manning and Kurt Warner. And Warner starts the year, Russ starts the year, and then the rookie quarterback comes in midway through, and hopefully he pulls it out of the fire. Man, I don't see how it's happening with this roster. I don't see how it's happening. I just don't envision it. The defense isn't good enough. The offensive line isn't good enough. Malik Neighbors is awesome. Tyrone Tracy's pretty good. The skill position players aren't good enough. And what has the head coach and this coaching staff shown outside of the first year where they probably got really lucky and fell forwards on their way to a playoff berth? How are they winning 9 games? How are they winning 8 games? How are they winning 7 games? The win total's 5.5. And Russell Wilson's going to be the quarterback of this team. And he was horrible in Denver. And I guess he got lucky in Pittsburgh. I mean, God, also with a much better support staff around him and a good head coach in Mike Tomlin. I originally thought, maybe 6-11. Maybe. New York is going to eat this team alive if this doesn't go well and they don't draft a quarterback. And then, at the end of the year, here's Quinn Ewers. Here's Will Howard. Here's Tyler Shuck. To which I would say, what the? Another terrible year coming up for the New York Football Giants. Mr. Unlimited? Oh, no. Oh, no. It's limited.